Okay, so this is driving down North George Street in Rome, New York. And it's the day after Thanksgiving. It's about 32 degrees, just kind of a gray day. But this is heading into, there's a kind of a circular park here. And you're going to see some of the oldest and biggest houses. So this is Vogel Park. You can sort of see there's some Christmas lights that just got set up, but these are the houses that front Vogel Park, and then we'll go down North George Street where you'll see some of the bigger homes. And these homes, I think, would have been owned by people who were in either with steel mills or, sorry, there's someone behind me. So these types of homes would have been, I think, the places where if you owned a steel mill or maybe an iron mill would have lived. I'm not exactly sure. I knew that at least one of these was occupied by someone who owned one of the, I think, Rome Iron. But you can see this is a neighborhood with sidewalks. You had these sort of old, got some Victorian kind of things going on down here. And then now we're just driving down North George Street and getting into just nicer, but a little bit more normal homes. And you can look down some of these side streets. And, you know, there's a real sense, right? The grandeur that some of these places have is definitely, you know, from a time that was in the past. But beautiful old homes. I mean, intricately detailed, these things. And we're coming down. This is, again, down George Street in Rome, New York. And you can see there's, they call that the Art Center. And there's the Y. So this is like a gym. I think a lot of people use it as a gym. There's a pool. A lot of people learn to swim there. And as we're continuing down North George Street, we're heading towards the old, you know, sort of traditional downtown. You can see some of the taller buildings are still the churches, and you know, this was a town that was settled in the Revolutionary days. So there's a historic fort called Fort Stanwix here. There was a big battle in the Revolution here. I think it was the first. Is it the first place they flew the American flag? I think it was the first time maybe the flag was flown in battle, was here. But I think this was, this is right where the Mohawk River sort of turns north. And basically it was the farthest west navigable place. And it was where you would carry your canoe between the watershed that empties out the Hudson and then the watershed that empties out the St. Lawrence, or going through the Great Lakes. So you had to carry your canoe through here. So this was the place where the Erie Canal was first dug. And it was an Erie Canal town. It was, and you can see, I don't know, it's like one of the old gas stations. This used to be more of a downtown. There was some, see again, some of the churches. But a lot of this, I think, was changed during urban renewal, maybe in the 50s or 60s, 70s. Unclear. But the old fort is down that away. This is Dominic Street. But yeah, and after being in Erie Canal town, and the Erie Canal was, you know, it was in the 1800s. This was a town where they made steel, so there was Rome strip steel, there was Rome iron, there was Revere Copper and Brass. And so when you think about like the types of industries in Pittsburgh, like this was very similar to that. So they had a lot of that, and it was you know, there were workers here, and people were earning a living, you know, doing you know, factory jobs. I don't know the exact, you know, but a lot of those places, I don't know if they've shut down completely, but you know, that side of the business is kind of wrapped up. And later Rome was an Air Force Base town, and the Air Force Base was called Griffiss, and it was a big Air Force base. It was nuclear. It flew B-52 bombers, the sort of long-range bombers, and F-15s. But the base was shut in the 90s, and so this region has gone through the Erie Canal. It's become a manufacturing center with factory work and, I don't know, what do you call it? Metallurgy. It was a government town, an air base town, and now all of those industries have dried up. And Rome, New York, with a sort of historic core and walkable neighborhoods, is a place where you can purchase a home for like a fraction of what it costs, or a fraction of what it would cost, you know, in some place like New York City or some of these other big cities. But yeah, it looks a lot nicer when there's when the trees are out. But this is North Charles Street, and you know, this is, again, you can just see the housing stock. We're sort of driving around. And this is Liberty Street. And these are family neighborhoods. There's going to be kids everywhere here. These are affordable places where, you know, you can buy a 3-bedroom home, raise your kids. This, I believe, this is Liberty Gardens, and I don't know if someone knows if this is apartment buildings. I'm not sure if it was government housing or what, but it's called Liberty Gardens. There's a community center. Again, you know, you have neighborhoods with sidewalks. And so, you know, if it wasn't raining out, this is Thron Park. You've got basketball courts, baseball, tennis. And yeah, and this is, you know, we're kind of on the edge of town. This is an example of like what some, you know, these are just apartments called Windsor Mews, and just live in like a nice affordable place, and they've got parking. You can see reeds, right? That means that there's water somewhere, right? We're mentioned, right? We're near the canal. But yeah, then you saw that. I don't know if you can see a little canal over there. Okay, well, look, that was just a very quick tour through Rome, New York.